If you had to choose between using a mechanical filter or a houseplant as your fish tank's water filter, which one would you choose? Well, hold that thought and we will revisit this question toward the end of the video. I'm Andrew and welcome to Plant Life Project. Well, today I want to show you how to maximize Monstera as a fish tank water filter and as a lush Riparium plant specimen. I'm adding this Monstera plant to my 75-gallon Riparium behind me here, which has been featured in several of my other videos. I want to show you how to prep a potted Monstera for your tank, share some tips on how you can help it adapt to life in the water, and how to maximize its growth for the long term, thereby maximizing its water filtering ability. Well, let's begin by prepping our plant for the tank. Now you can start with a cutting, which is less work up front, but it can take longer for the plant to grow to size. If you're using the whole plant like we are today, you want to make sure you thoroughly wash the roots and the leaves. We're removing not only potting soil, but also any residues from chemicals used, like fertilizers, fungicides, insecticides, and so on. Starting with the whole plant like we are today does involve an adaptation process where the plant is changing to grow in a water environment. Well, during this time of transition, the plant may exhibit wilting leaves and root dieback, but this is normal and there is something that we can do to help. If we remove some of the larger leaves, like I have done here, then that's going to help the plant to conserve and redirect energy into root replacement and also new leaf growth. For more information on how to adapt houseplants to fish tanks, check out my video by that title in the link below. Well, let me know if you are getting value from this so far by hitting that like and share button, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Well, enough of that, back to Monstera. Well, as we place this Monstera in the tank, let's talk about our long-term game plan. Are there really enough nutrients in this tank to support a huge plant like Monstera, let alone all the other plants in this tank? Yes, there are, because we are not only relying on nutrients in the water column, but also in the substrate. As our Monstera roots grow down through the water, they're filtering out the nitrates and phosphates along the way. But the real magic happens when those roots grow down into the substrate. Then they are feeding on the water column and the substrate simultaneously, thus making it a maximized Monstera water filter. And this plant can be with you for the long term, growing this way. So what if I'm keeping a small bioload in my tank? Only a few fish, some shrimp, some snails. How will the Monstera get enough nutrients then? Well, you can fertilize them through the substrate with root tabs. And I do have a recipe for homemade root tabs that end up being much cheaper than the manufactured ones. But that will have to wait for another video, so be on the lookout for that one coming soon. Another option, especially if you have a smaller tank, is to use Monstera adansonii, which is a much smaller version of Monstera deliciosa. Well, Monstera is a vining giant, so it will need a support of some kind to grow on. I like to use plastic chains because not only can they support the weight, but they're easy to train a vine on, even a large one like Monstera. At some point, I may have to secure the vine with Velcro to the chain as it continues to grow. Lighting should be pretty easy. Monstera is adaptable to low light, and any natural daylight that you offer it will be beneficial. In this Riparium, it will have a T5 fluorescent bulb overhead and a window only a few feet away. So let's revisit our question from the beginning of the video. Would you choose a mechanical filter or a houseplant to filter your fish tank with? Personally, I rely on houseplants to do the real filtering for me. Mechanical filters like a hang on the back filter or a sponge filter are great at water circulation, removing particles, and housing beneficial bacteria. But plants like Monstera utilize the nutrients from the waste directly by sucking them up and using them to grow the plant with. And that makes them an efficient natural water filter. Well, I hope that this has given you quality information that give you amazing results. And let me know how things work for you and the Monstera in your tank. Well, I will see you next time, and remember, it's all about the plants.